Hello, my amazing community. Welcome to another recreation. So, if this is what you would like to learn, please continue now with me to the end of the video and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you. I have gone ahead to mark my basic bodice pattern. Let's run through it together. So, from my shoulder, I marked my chest line, bust line, my under bust line, and then my waistline. And then this the neck width is 3.5, and then the neck depth here is 3 inches. Then I connect this point together. So then I marked 9 inches for my chest line, right? So then I came from this point by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I connect this point together. Then I came in, I divided whatever I have here by 2. Then I came in by ½ inch. Then I connected this point to this point, then this point to this point. Then here is my bust dart. My bust dart is 4 inches. Then I marked that bust dart to this point, and here is our bust point. Now I divided whatever I have here by 2. Then I connect this point to this point. Now what to do is, on this point I will mark 1.25. I like to take 1.25 for my dart allowance, for not too big a bust. Then 0.75 on this point. Did here, I will do it on my under bust. So 1.25 here and 0.75 here. I went up by 2 inches for my over bust line. 2 inches. Then I'll connect to the straight ruler. Whatever I have here is what I'll be placing here. So I'll do my 1.25 here and 0.75 here. So on this bust point line, I'll come down by 1 inch. Okay, then I'll connect this point to this point now, and then I'll connect this point to this point. This is taking shape. Then usually my cleavage point will be here, so this is where I would like my cleavage to open up to, with a sweetheart neckline. This I'll make this I'll blend this in, blend those points in. I'll blend all these points in. Then I'll come to this point. I'll mark this. I'll make sure it's blended properly also. We rise like tall buildings. Then after blending all of these points properly, you're just going to impute all your circumferences, like your bust, under bust, and your waist. All this divided by 4 plus your dart intake. If you have enough paper, you can add 2 inches for your sewing allowance or stitching allowance. So here on my underbust, I did my underbust divided by 4 plus 2 inches dart intake, waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches dart intake. So I'll be adding a paper to this to add my stitching allowance. Take this dart intake, I'll add it up to this point. I'll add it here, and then I'll rule that line. Now my front pattern is longer than my back pattern by 2 inches, and then that's where the bust dart comes in. So I'm coming down from that point from my bust line by 2 inches. Then I'll go in rather from my bust point by 1 inch, and I'll connect that to the 2 inches I took below my bust line, and that's our bust dart. Just follow through the process of cutting so that you don't make mistakes. This is very simple, guys. So this is my yoke, and then here is my shoulder, so that when we are cutting, and this is our chest line, armhole, alright, neck line.
Labeling like this helps to prevent confusion when you are cutting on fabrics. Please take note.
Cut this out like that. I bust that. So don't forget to notch this point, alright? Notch it when you are cutting your fabric. So I have added paper to this part, and just 2 inches sewing allowance. 2 inches, 2 inches on my waist. I'll add my 2 inches. Alright, so here is our front pattern. So now I have gone ahead to mark my back pattern. The only thing I'll be doing is I'll be adding my zipper allowance later. So now just draft your basic bodies also, and then from this point, so here is my dart line. Okay, the same thing I did on the front pattern is the same thing I did here on the back pattern. So from this shoulder I marked my chest line, I marked my waist line, which is my half length. So on the dart line, from this point I came in by 1 inch. This is my back tightening for the zipper area to lay flat, and then I connect this point to this point. And then on the dart leg I came in by 0.5 on both sides, and then from this point I'll just come down by 1 inch. Come down by 1 inch. Just connect that point. Is 3.5. Okay, 3.5. The neck depth is my neck depth is 3 inches, but we'll not be using that also.
So I simply divided whatever I have on my shoulder by 2, then I connected that to my dart line.
I don't want it to be too open at the back, so I'll come up by 2 inches. I'll also come up by 2 inches here, and I'll mark with a straight line. Neck depth for the back will be about 9 inches to this point.
Now, place your circumference measurement. So, my bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches stitching allowance. My waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches stitching allowance. Now, connect all the points together like so, and then we start cutting. Please follow through the process of cutting this so that you won't make mistakes with the many lines we have on this pattern paper.
So then this is what we have. So this is my neck line, arm hole, this is shoulder. This label usually help me, and this is my chest line. Alright, so you can just pick your dart like this, or you can cut it open if you want to have it as 1, 2, and so on. So but then paper. Now from this point mark 1.5 for your zipper allowance, or 2 inches. I like to have excess sometimes so that I can have enough space to work, because I'll still weave it. I'll weave the edges. So then we connect that point together. So this is for zipper allowance. So you can go ahead. This is what we have for the front back pattern. This is our back hip, and here is our front. Here is our front pattern. Here is our front pattern. Front hip.
Now I have gone ahead to cut my fabric, placing my paper pattern on it like this, and the yoke part I make sure it is double. Then I'm going to use interface to make it solid, to make it firmer. Now for the skirt part or the down part, to fold your fabric is your hip divided by 4 minus 1 plus 0.5 plus 2 inches stitching allowance. Then your lining fabric will be shorter to your fashion fabric by 2 inches. So that means my fabric is longer than my lining by 2 inches. Beginning with our measurements for my waistline, I took my hip line 9 inches for a plus size, 8 inches for its normal size, and then for my waist again I took my length. Alright, so then I'm just going to impute my waist measurement. So my waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches stitching allowance. Then I place my mark there.
Normal level. And then on my hip.
So it's going to be my hip divided by 4 minus 1 plus 0.5 plus 2 inches stitching allowance. And then I'll connect that to my waist.
And whatever I have here, I'll just minus 1. So here we have 13.25. 13.25. So minus 1 will give us 12.25. 12.25. Alright, just go ahead to place that. 12.25. So connect this point to this point. Alright, we're just going to cut this out.
As you can tell, I have placed my lining fabric on my fashion fabric. Then I place my front pattern like so. Then I trim off the excesses on the side. So everything is same except that I will be adding my zipper allowance of about 1.5 to 2 inches. And for hip allocation on the back pattern, it's your hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch plus 0.5 plus your zipper allowance of 1.5 to 2 inches.
And then, so just connect this point to this point.
Now take the zipper allowance you have there, place it on the hem like so, and then you connect with a straight ruler. Then you cut off the excesses you have on this part. So this gown do not have a slit at the back except that it has that V design on the front pattern. So for the sleeve, I'll be using an organza fabric and it's 1 yard. So I went ahead to fold my 1 yard into 4 parts like this.
I'll be taking my length first. I'll just roll a straight line for that sleeve part. And then from my length 26, okay? Then 26, and then I'll mark my cap's height. My cap's height is 4 inches. Alright? Then at around this point, we have this gathered ruched style part that from this point now, I'm just going to count upward about 6 to 7 inches. I'll count upward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, at 7, okay, so what I've marked here is 7 inches. Now during the sewing, I'll fold over this part. I'll be folding this part, so I'm taking 1 inch for that part. All right, that's where our rope will be going into. I'll show us how to go about it when we get to that part. Now coming back to this is my armhole area now. So I'll impute my armhole divided by 2. My armhole divided by 2. I have armhole 20 to work with, so armhole 20 divided by 2, we have 10 plus 1 inch for stitching allowance. Alright, so from this point, I'll connect this point to this top part of my sleeve with my straight ruler. This is what I do almost all the time, every time on the channel. So I believe you have familiarized yourself with this part of my tutorial. So from this point, I will divide what I have here by 2. So in this case, I have 6.5. 6.5. I'll divide 6.5 by 2. Alright, I'll divide 6.5 by 2. So 6.5 by 2, I'll divide that. So I'll go up by ½ inch, and then on this point, I'll divide it by 2. I'll go down by ½ inch. So you're just going to connect from this topmost part, and then this is the center point. You're just going to go like this to the center point. This material is quite shaky, so you just have to be careful. All right, I'll use a straight ruler like this. I'll connect from this point downward. Okay. Because we'll be needing this fabric here.
Okay, that's the end of the cutting video, guys. Please turn on your notification bell to get notified when I upload video for the sewing. Thanks for always stopping by, and thanks for coming to this channel to encourage me. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.